So this is quite exciting. Episode 300.
It is a centennial episode, and we're missing our centennial host.
Does he really matter though?
No, he does not.
No. At least we're here to celebrate this and have some fun and tell the people about all the good Destiny stuff.
Indeed, we are. Are we going to talk about the dungeon? Probably. I've done the dungeon all the way through twice. I've done the last bit a few times because people kept asking for help. I still don't know how the mechanic works because people keep bringing me in to like just be an extra body, and nobody's actually taught me how to do it yet. So
he hasn't watched any videos on it. So
no, yeah. I haven't. I haven't had a lot of time.
He didn't think about like watching a video instead of moaning about it. Dude. He was like, I'm going to watch a video. No, I'm not.
No, I've been working like a lot since the dungeon came out, dude. I've hardly had any time. And as soon as I jump on the game and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do stuff, check out some stuff. Everyone's like, hey, can you come join me? I'm like, well, okay. Like, you want to do the dungeon? I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Doesn't matter. We'll carry you. Okay.
Look, it's a dungeon.
Yeah. Well, that last bit is such a pain, dude. Like the lightning strikes, I guess, match the color of the ground, and I can't see when they hit.
That's a problem.
You can see before it hits. I'm like, can you though? Can you really? Because I'm not seeing it. I see like a faint hint of a crackle, but by the time I see that little crackle, it's too late.
I think you're trying to blame your color blindness on just incompetence, basically.
Right, because it comes up so often.
What, your incompetence?
No, the color blindness. When I'm incompetent, I don't hide it. It's not like I'm like, oh no. No, I mean, I embrace it. I'm bad at things like PvP and whatnot, but this is just like, I don't know, the ground and the lightning. We're not compatible. We're not friends. We are not gonna go to prom. I can tell you that much.
Right. Okay.
So, is it a big news week? Somebody like Wednesday said there was going to be a lot of news. Sure, I've got 3 tabs open. I haven't had a chance to read any of them. So
while we let you read those, I'll start the intro to the show, and then we can get started.
Huzzah and Bazinga.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So, welcome to the show, episode 300. We've reached a milestone, and we don't really care about that, do we? We just care about...
I mean, I kind of do. I guess you don't. But,
Well, is 300 like amazing? It's like we're just...
It held back an entire horde of Xerxes' army, so I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Is it? What's the word?
Donny says, since he's already taken over your job as the video guy, do you want him to take over your job as the third host?
Yeah.
Okay. He said you can join if you want to, Donny. Anyway, no, I think it is a big deal. 300 shows. If you think about it, that's what, 1 a week, and then we've skipped some weeks too, right? So
no, we haven't. We've not skipped 1 week.
Not ever?
Not ever.
Yeah, no, because we've had like holidays where we've skipped a week, haven't we?
No. We have
like during Christmas, New Year's, things like that. Because
if we
recorded, we've skipped, but the show didn't. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
we have
you're right.
consistently put out a show every single week since we started. That's an amazing triumph, I guess. I think it's just that we are kind of persistent. I don't think it's anything else. We're just persistent, aggravating, as my wife likes to say, and persistent.
Well, she's aggravated because it's just Destiny. I don't think you're aggravating. I don't think we're. I think I'm aggravating, but you two make up for it.
But I mean,
yeah.
In general, I mean, just overall, I'd just like to say thank you to all the listeners and all the followers over the years, because it started with us just kind of being here, and then like one or two people picking up on it, and then kind of, giving us some feedback and actually emailing us and talking to us. So thank you for the feedback and interactions, positive and negative, throughout the years. Also, we if we're going to start thanking people, thank you to the Patreons who help support the show each and every week. Special thank you to Donny and Noble, who kind of over the last kind of couple of months have been sending me stuff on Discord saying, right, this is coming out, and kind of giving me a bit more information that we can kind of then go over on the show. So thank you to those guys, and thank you for kind of helping out every now and then with kind of stepping in and hosting the show, especially to Noble, who we regularly drag in now. It started with kind of me going from a solo player to joining this clan, the Frozen Clan, to then helping out in the Frozen Clan, because I kind of learned through joining like LFGs. It was just kind of LFG kind of joining with the Vault of Glass and learning that, and then doing Crota's End, and then finding this clan that needed some help and kind of directions to be pointed in, to me helping out in the clan, and then thinking, I think we could, this would be nice to kind of grow it and actually help more and more people, to then forming this amazing show with you two, which is amazing. And I keep saying amazing and incredible and things like that. We have an incredible community. We have sister shows, like we share this larger community with the Blueberry Lounge, Guardian Down, Guardian Hub, and Potato Thumbs. So just again, thank you to everyone that's listened over the years.
What he said, all that gooey stuff.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, we do. I mean, I didn't really come into this with the intention of it being a thing. I just, I'm lonely and I don't have any friends, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm a bit of an right? So just came in here to hang out with some dudes and talk about a game that I enjoyed, and it just kind of evolved over time. And people like you guys tend to listen to my shenanigans, which feeds my narcissism. And honestly, it's a really guilty pleasure, and y'all feed into my negative feedback loop, and it's probably an unhealthy obsession. I'm not even gonna lie.
It probably is. And what doesn't help it is that we have patrons that also help feed us. Well, not technically not feed us, but technically feed Respawn's kind of narcissism here. So, have I mentioned those guys yet? Because they are phenomenal. We have Zep Orbit, K4, the TUX King, Scarlet KM, Malomali, Dedicated Wham 64, Renard, hang on, I've got to do it properly. Renard Collant, because he wants me to do that. Golden God 1562, We Noble, Basically Salt, Fire Squad 1688, Codison 105, Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, and PP Pipe. They are our amazing patrons that help the show each and every week. And we do like to thank them each and every week, but we thank them at the end of the show. So I thought this week we're going to thank them at the beginning of the show, because it's a big thank you that we've kind of got to this milestone and we're here now. And thanks to them for kind of helping support us throughout this. It's been an amazing journey, and we want to kind of carry on talking about Destiny for forever, because it looks like Destiny's going to continue forever somehow in many different forms going forward. And thank you to our sister shows that have kind of jumped in every now and then to kind of help with us, or kind of we've joined them in kind of doing a huge podcast show, and we kind of formed an Owl Alliance network with those guys. But with that, I do have to kind of mention at the moment, Guardian Hub have recorded, or going to record, their last show this weekend, which is really sad times. Yeah, ever.
What?
I know. But, it's been an incredible journey for them and for us, creating these communities around Destiny together for many years now. And even though the show is finishing, the community in the Discord will remain fully supported. It's just the show that's finishing. I think those guys kind of, maybe it's too much to kind of put out a show each and every week. I mean, it is a hell of a lot of a commitment to kind of make sure that the show goes out each and every week and you've got something to talk about. I mean, thank God with Destiny, there is always something to talk about each and every week. Maybe not like at Christmas when they have their break, which is why we do our kind of different kind of shows that we kind of variety shows and keep you entertained. But thank you to them for kind of all the good times and the listens that we've kind of had through their show. But I do have some good news for you. If you still love Destiny shows,
we're still around, and you guys can all come over to us.
well, yeah, I mean, they're still we are here. They're still there, as a kind of community.
Yeah.
But the Guardian Down show with Todd the Gator has announced this past week that he will have 2 new hosts joining him for the show. Now, RNG Gator has kind of been a regular co-host, guest host for a few months or over the years, has kind of helped Todd. And he's now also included the phenomenal Kingsley Mack from the Guardian Hub as a regular host or a permanent host on the Guardian Down. So,
that's why it's yes.
Well, no, I don't think that's the reason why, but I think Kingsley still wants to talk about Destiny, still wants to do podcasting, so he's joined the Guardian Down. So that's really cool that they're kind of amalgamating, fusing together Guardian Hubs and Guardian Downs. I don't know if they will continue to be the best hub on the net, but they will be the best Guardian Down on hub on the net. I don't know if that works.
Don't try it. Just you
No,
hurt
I'm not
yourself much. Yeah.
It hurts my brain thinking about it. But yeah, and I think that's all the mushy stuff out of the way. Donny, welcome to the show.
Well, hello, sir.
Nice of you to join us.
Banana, pineapple, funny, me, mine, more money. Donny.
So you've decided to come and join and fill in our Peroty shoes.
Well, I don't know if my feet are that big, but I'm going to try.
Okay. We'll give you some reading to do and see if you can stumble along just as well as us and Peroty can, if that helps.
Give it a try.
Hooked on phonics, failed for me.
Oh, dear.
Where do you want to start, Brazza?
Well, I was thinking we could start at the beginning of the week with like the cool announcements and then the expanding like universe, and then develop an insight to what's coming in Destiny's future. But then I was looking at it all, and it all seems to be crammed into this week in Destiny, or the TWAB that we like to call it, for the 17th of October. So I was thinking if we go through the TWAB and then just jump from one place to the other to kind of give the people the details. How's that sound?
What's the
TWAB
update
is
is nothing. Developer insight. You said we're not going to do that, so there's the.
No, we are going to do that, but I think if we go through the TWAB, it's all kind of listed in the TWAB. Okay.
What do you want to start at, just from the top?
Yeah, I mean, this week in Destiny, they ran through their first ever dungeon race, and they did a contest mode, and people watched and got some emblems. I did not. And then after that, they're going to be covering the solo ops, which is their latest Dev Insight blog. The Vesper's host dungeon race winners, the dungeon challenges with your favorite creators, how tonics work in episodes Revenant, announcing Destiny Rising, Hurricane Relief, and have some cool Vesper's host wallpapers for us to have a look at. So, shall we dive into the Dev Insight for Codename Frontiers, which is going to go over solo ops. So anything that we kind of put in the show will be linked in the show notes. And the Developer Insight article, Codename Frontiers, is going to be paving the way for new frontiers and Destiny in the future, basically. And the TLDR of this is that they are going to be introducing solo ops, which are 10-minute missions that can be completed in a single player or a fire team. They are low commitment options that still allow you to use challenge customization to make the progress towards better gear. They're being built for their experiences to stay fresh across repeated plays. Over the last few years, they've built on the promise that Destiny is a game where you can come together with other Guardians and enjoy the game together. And they've built a lot of new mechanics and match-made activities from the battlegrounds to Onslaught, and rolled out features like Fireteam Finder to make it easier than ever to find groups with other players. And they've watched the community come together like never before, and that's great. But sometimes you just want to jump in and play for 10 or 20 minutes and feel like it's worth your time. So right now, the only option for doing this is either in direct competition with other players in Crucible and Gambit, or it can feel like you're in a race to the finish if you're kind of doing like strikes and battlegrounds. And the activities best suited to solo players are time-consuming story missions that can take half an hour or more to complete. Lost sectors require you to go into the destination to play them, and jumping into multiplayer activities as a solo player, for example, soloing dungeons, can be stressful and even taking more time than the activity would with a fire team. So they've identified a gap and offering a short activity that lone players can take at their own pace. So their solution is to give us solo ops, and they're aimed at shorter playtimes and manageable for solo players. They will be launched from the portal and have a target base of 10 minutes. Now, I can see this is a bit of the target is 10 minutes, but then when you start adding like some of the challenge customizations and the mission variability, I see this is going to be longer than 10 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but each solo opt activity emphasizes the fun of Destiny's combat action gameplay, presenting players with straightforward objectives that focus on gunplay. Solo op missions aren't intended to be intense tests of build crafting powers or thumb skills. Instead, they want them to focus on the joy of playing Destiny's action sandbox in a way that's easy to jump into and play just a few minutes. So, as I just mentioned, reward scaling. Solo ops will support scoring and challenge customization, like many other activities in the game. As such, this will allow players to increment progression towards better and more powerful gear and support customizing the difficulty of the activity with a wide variety of modifiers. Again, I can see that this will be then start pushing that 10 minutes to a little bit longer, and maybe there be some kind of cheeses to this to kind of do different things to kind of... I can see people maybe finding an exploit for this unless they kind of lock it down. Because if you can jump into a 10-minute mission and somehow complete it in 10 minutes and get better gear than other places that you then spend like half an hour doing, then I could see an exploit for this. But maybe it won't be too much of a high gear. Maybe this is more aimed at getting players into the game to start off with. But that's...
Unless Bungie makes it so that you don't have a checkpoint. Like, if there's a checkpoint, there's going to be a way to exploit it, right? Like,
no, but I mean, in a 10-minute mission, doing a 10-minute mission, you could do 3 of those and may possibly, depending on what the rewards are, get more out of that than doing a Grandmaster Nightfall. It depends on what the rewards are and what the scaling is and what you have to kind of do to get it. But I could see that maybe this might be one of those things where Cheese Forever puts out a video and goes, right, you can do this in under 10 minutes and get X, Y, and Z, which is better than, spending 20 minutes in a Grandmaster Nightfall with a fire team of 3. You can do this solo kind of thing. That's where I can see a little bit of a warning.
No, I mean, let it happen. I mean,
I'm just saying, keep your eyes peeled, because Destiny has been known to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, but will they make it end game content worthy?
I don't know.
Because you say raids, Grandmasters, or whatever it is, but those are legitimately the end game, so that's where you get the best gear.
Yeah, but they want to make it, in this blog post, it says that they want to make it kind of challenging, but they also, where you'll be able to challenge customization.
Yeah, as we had before when we did all the Nightfalls, when we had the Masters, where you put a certain modifier on there, and
you could have the was it the card of 7 of 9s or something card, wasn't it, that you could adjust the difficulty of the light for the Nightfall as well. We've gone through this. It's just kind of repeating itself, but in different variations, I suppose, with Destiny and hopefully trying to get more people interested in playing it. So another goal of the solo ops is to create activities with higher variabilities between play. Since you'll be playing these missions as a way of making progress towards better gear, they're trying to make them stay fresh for longer, and they're making them less predictable in what you see. So, for example, at this time, they're aiming to have each mission come with a variant of at least 2 combatant factions, each with a unique objective associated with it. So solo op missions will sometimes come with optional goals that only present themselves once you're in the activity, like the presence of a treasure goblin or a passageway to a secret room opening where they would normally be closed. And they're also going to be scattering treasure chests throughout the activity. To find them will get you the bonus for your final score. One piece of the activity tech that they've been working towards building these missions is dynamic enemy spawning. So this system runs behind the scenes, monitoring how well you're doing, how long it's been since you've been in combat, and how close you're getting to your objective, and then spawning squads of enemies when the system determines that you need to be challenged. Unlike other activities where enemy spawns, cadence, and locations are often scripted, solo op missions will spawn enemies at unpredictable times from places where you may not expect them. Visiting exciting locations. Since solo ops are part of a core game that is free to play for everyone, they also want to take advantage of the fact that across the game there are many locations that are not either used in free content or are underused despite being a fun place to play. A lot of beautiful, exciting spaces play host to a single story mission, and players have no reason to go to these places outside that mission. Like the Salt's Works on the EDZ? I mean, we did have a kind of couple of repeatable missions there where we had to go and get the Thorn, and I think it was Last Word, wasn't it, at a campfire? There's many places that we've had to go up that lift and come back down. But then I suppose since they've been taken out of the game and the Red Wall was taken out of the game, they're still there. You can kind of visit those places, but we have no real reason to do anything there. So they want to kind of include those in the solo ops. Solo missions will take you into spaces you might have visited before, but the new objective and dynamic enemy spawning system helps to make the experience feel both fresh and familiar. For many players, solo op missions might be the first time you go to those locations, and they think that everyone should have the chance to experience these iconic spaces. Overall, they hope that solo op missions will be a good activity for players who only have a short amount of time to play, prefer to play with themselves, or are looking for a low intensity way to revel in the Destiny gameplay sandbox, as well as the combination of all these three. So the frequently asked questions, because there are a lot of questions being asked about this, even though they say at the top, can you play in them solo or can they be played in a fire team? And they say solo op activities will accommodate up to 3-player fire teams, because they never want to tell you that you can't play with your friends, basically. And they're working on a system that automatically scales up the difficulty of the encounters based on your fire team size. However, if you want to still play them with other people, fire team ops are going to be the best place that, give the efficient path to get better gear. So that's the fire team ops is going to be kind of replacing the Vanguard playlist, I think. Again, this is coming in the future, like in about a year's time. Will solo ops support matchmaking? No, it won't be. Fire team ops is going to be the only way that it will have matchmaking, because you don't want matchmaking if you're loading in solo. You then got to tab buttons to go, no, I just want to be solo. No, it's going to be solo, or you're just going to have to take in your friends and do your own fire teams. Or they might put it into the fire team finder to say, this is something I want to kind of do. Anyone want to join me for 10 minutes? And will solo ops include champions, banes, and specific modifiers? And they haven't locked down any specific sets of modifiers that they're going to use in the support of the solo ops. They just want to use this. We can't just use the same modifiers as, say, the strikes, because they're really aiming at a tighter experience that solo players can enjoy. And they want to make sure that modifiers that they don't push the mission away from that experience. But they do plan to support banes, as they think they offer an exciting way to increase the variety of experiences that you have across multiple plays. Which, yeah, I guess so. Different spawning locations, you being able to customize what kind of rewards you get out of it, as long as it's not kind of top tier rewards, I guess is quite cool. And adding maybe banes rather than champions is also another way. I like this idea. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, yeah, I do a lot of solo stuff. So if I can get the same gear without having to go into a Grandmaster solo, yeah, absolutely.
No, I don't think it's going to be that. As Donny said, it's not going to be something, because that is end.
But
it might just be gear until the hard cap of the light level, and then everything you have to do above is when you have to do the regular things.
Still, having a solo option might not be a bad idea. I want to see how it plays out. I like the concept. I want to see how they use it.
Well, if we can do our quests and our pill finders with those things, it's going to be a lot easier.
That too.
Yeah. As a veteran player, unless there's going to be something in there that I'm, like an enhancement core, enhancement prism that I need to kind of get to kind of do something with, and it's a quick way of me doing that rather than doing a Grandmaster. And maybe you can only get like 1 or 2 a week, depending on maybe 3 a week, because you can run 3 characters through, or you can run 1 character through 3 times. That's going to be quicker than doing like a Grandmaster to maybe get a golf ball at the end. If that's a guaranteed way of doing that each week, that might entice me to kind of go into it. But if I want to sit down and just play for 10 minutes and it's just kind of 10 minutes of something, I might go to a planet and do some just some farming of like a Glimmer, or I'll jump into Crucible and just play a Crucible match. Just go and play a competitive for, that's normally less than 10 minutes with my gameplay, but yeah, what about you guys? Is this something that you think that you might be playing just to jump on, or are you, when you do jump on, are you like me? You've planned to jump on and stay and play for longer than 10 minutes?
I'm feeling deja vu. Did you just ask us this question?
No, this is a different. I'm asking it a different way to get more response out of you.
Okay. Yes, I plan on playing this. Yes, it sounds like a good idea. Yes, I would like to see how this plays out.
So, do you think you'll be playing this?
You know what? On second thought, no.
Okay.
This isn't in my alley. No. I'm second guessing it now.
Well, it will get more players back into the game itself, because a lot of people are playing the game solo or don't have enough people to do nightfalls because they are short one person, and a lot of people are very conscious about going into the LFG and stuff because they don't know how the experience will be. Maybe they had some bad experience with LFGs, so you never know.
Yeah, true.
I do see it as an improvement. We'll have to see how it works out, but it gives you more options to do certain stuff in the game.
The age gap. Damn it. Sorry. Gimbush says this is something Gator would love because it fits his age gap perfectly.
I don't know. I mean, Destiny's always been kind of promoted as a team playing. I mean, they do acknowledge that in the article and say that it's always been kind of clans and getting together with people and forming a fire team. And like I said at the beginning, I mean, if I started off as a solo player and it wasn't until I kind of joined LFGs and then found a group of people that had a clan that were kind of doing things that I then got involved with and then joined the clan, and then we formed discords and chats and it grew to something more than what it originally was. And I think that's how you kind of find other people to play with, people of your kind. I mean, just nice people that you can kind of join their clan, and it's not a stressful kind of thing.
Word.
Huh?
Nice is a strong word. I mean, I'm part of this clan, and I think we all know what kind of person I am.
Look, there's no individual in what I'm saying. I'm just saying overall nice. One bad egg doesn't make the rest of the basket kind of go off.
It absolutely does.
No, it doesn't. No. No, but in general, I think that's how Destiny was kind of promoted, is that you get into these kind of LFGs, you find people, you find a nice group of people that kind of go, hey, let's be friends. And then once you kind of, you just stay as friends and join these people each and every day, or when you're kind of on. I mean, I've joined a lot of LFGs recently, and they kind of go, message me if you're on, or I'll message you if you're on, and we can kind of hook up and do X, Y, and Z, which is really nice. And I'm not sure if them introducing this is going to be a way of them kind of growing the game, because if you're just coming on and just playing these, it's kind of just restricting you to just playing those and I guess forcing you to kind of join LFGs and join the Fire Team Finder and speak to other people. But maybe it might.
Only one way to find out. Let's do it. But you said it's not coming out for a whole year, right?
Well,
so we got time.
Yeah. I mean, we've, as I said, last week, we were going over the time frame for it. So I think the February, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think February 19th or something is when we get Heresy, and then Heresy will run for about 5 or 6 months until June, I believe, and then that's when the proposed new kind of expansion, is it Apollo, starts, and then Behemoth. But again, don't know whether this is going to come with Apollo or it's going to be further on down the line. It may be something that kind of developing further, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's Solo Ops. So next up in the TWAB is the dungeon. Now, I didn't manage to get to play the dungeon this week. I've been a little bit busy. My wife's not been very well, so I've been looking after her. But you played it this week and have been dragged in a couple of times. Donny, have you managed to play it?
No, I haven't yet.
definitely something we're going to have to do next week. But Respawn, tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot of radiation. That it's a thing for me because I used to work in radiation. I used to do pipe X-ray inspecting with my dad. And the first thing they do before you start this job is they show you a slideshow and a video about the horrors of radiation exposure and how it melts you. And I was forever traumatized after that. So hearing those clicks in this dungeon, because like when a certain enemy gets too close to you, I don't want to spoil it for people, but there's a certain enemy that is back again.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Aatrox is back though.
No,
man.
it's not Aatrox. It's not Aatrox.
It is
It's
Aatrox. Look. If you copy paste it and call it something else, it's still that enemy. Okay, shut up.
No,
anyway,
it looks, it smells, it tastes just like, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever. So this thing exudes radiation, and you have a Geiger counter that's constantly clicking as you're being exposed, and it gets really annoying, and it sets off a primal part of my brain that I didn't want to have set off. So that's annoying in its own right. But the gameplay itself, it's if you've done the Space Raid, the beautiful one, I always forget the Deep Stone
Crypts.
Yeah, that absolutely beautiful raid. There's a lot of beautiful parts in this too, and a lot of the mechanics are the same as well, right? You got the nuclear ball that if you hold it too long, you go boom. You got the op mechanic, you got the scan mechanic, you have the suppressor mechanic. So if you've done that raid, not a whole lot different, as far as like those things go, but how you use those things is different, right? Now there's numbering things, and there's also a sound mechanic from what I understand. I didn't get to do the sound mechanic, somebody else was doing that, but apparently if you go next to a number, if it makes a sound, the guy that has op has to shoot it. If it doesn't make a sound, then you just move on, I think is how that works. Again, I didn't get to do that mechanic, so this is hearsay. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, so you have the primary mechanics, and then now they've added a new one that's based on sound. So apparently you have to turn up the game volume if you're someone like me that has it always down. Now, Dimwey's chiming in that says, even in the lore, there's only one Exo Fallen, so it is the same. Even if they call it, it is. Dimwey agrees with me. Shut your face hole.
Dimwey.
Yep.
Dimwey. There's a Bife video. Bife outranks you in lore giving.
Ooh. I mean, that's a strong argument, Dimwey. That's a very strong argument. Anyway, the raid is okay. There's a lot of annoying mechanics. I was saying before the show, I don't know how much of this he's going to record, but in the beginning of the show, as some of you know, I have an issue with colors that are too close to each other. I'm not full-on colorblind, but when colors are similar to each other, I have a hard time discerning them. And the lightning strikes at the end boss phase, I think they're lightning strikes. Somebody called them lightning strikes. But if you're standing in the wrong spot, you will get one shot. And like they're hard for me specifically to see. And I have the colorblind mode turned on, so I'm gonna have to experiment with that a little bit to see if maybe I can change my settings to make that help me a little bit. But yeah, so I died a lot on that last encounter. And there's also a confusing bit where you can jump into a hole or you can jump into a room. And I would jump into a room and they would jump into the hole and I would die. And then I would jump into a hole and they would jump into a room. And I'm just like, all right, when do you jump in? I don't understand what's happening. But it's all right. I'm not a fan of the loot, though. I haven't gotten anything from the dungeon that I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing kind of thing so far. So
well, other people have, so
I mean, I guess. I mean, the icebreaker itself is still kind of meh. Even if you were lucky enough to get the icebreaker, I looked at it in people's videos. I inspected it in my inventory, and not in the inventory, in the collections, and it's not meh. You don't regenerate ammo at all. At all.
You do.
No, at all. you have to shoot other things to get ammo, right? So it's got no self-regen ammo like it used to. Like every 3 or 5 or 6 seconds, you just get ammo. That's
Yeah.
gone. Bungie said it's never coming back. The only way for you to get ammo is to kill things with other weapons. That's it, right? And I think somebody said in the Catalyst, somebody like looked up the Catalyst or whatever and said that if you shoot a crystal with the icebreaker, it will generate ammo as well as explode the crystal or something. So that's the only way you get ammo back. They did increase the mag size to 10, but you have no reserves. Y'all got to keep in mind, you have no reserves with this gun. So you get 10 rounds and that's it. And then you have to kill things with other guns to get ammo back, which it's not hard to kill things. For every enemy you kill, you get a round. For every elite you kill, you get 2. So you could potentially generate it back pretty quick. And as long as you're killing things, you are getting it back. So you don't have to worry about ammo breaks in that right. But it is very slow firing. You don't get a ton of ammo. You get no reserves. So, and in the damage testing, it didn't out damage other sniper rifles in its same category. So, like, the one good thing it had going for it is you could solo a thing, right? And you could just kind of hide away and plink, plink, plink at a boss because you'd never run out of ammo. Well, that aspect of it is gone. And you can't out DPS anything with it. So in reality, I'm trying to find a situation where this is worth chasing.
I think it's still early days for what it could do or what it could potentially do. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things.
Like what? Inform me, because I don't see anything good happening. And I don't want to say it's bad, because I don't know. I just don't see anything, So what did you hear good about it? Help me out here.
That it still does, it still generates the ammo as long as you're kind of taking out the minor enemies. And there's always kind of minor enemies to kind of defeat in between kind of different phases of boss encounters. So it's one that you could still kind of use it against a boss. And then once the kind of boss wave is over, you then defeat more enemies. I mean, just for example, the War Priest in Kingsfall.
Mhm.
So you use it on the War Priest. You then hide behind your pillar. You then go back to taking out some enemies. As long as you're not using your icebreaker, you can use abilities. You can use other weapons. That will refill your magazine depending on the tier of enemy.
Abilities give you back ammo too, or just other weapons? So
No,
you're
weapons.
sure?
Yep, weapons and abilities will regenerate the ammo, and
Okay,
then
that changes things a bit.
yeah. So it can still be used as part of a kind of build, and it depends on what kind of boss. And again, I suppose every kind of boss is different. So it's not. We never used to take the icebreaker into every boss encounter. Sometimes we would swap it out for the Black Hammer or Black Spindle. Whisper of the Worm is what it's called now, and do different things. But yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember sitting at the back of the Sepkis Prime and just sitting on a pipe and plinking away at the blooming walker.
Exactly. Yeah, because you
To
never run out of ammo.
I didn't want to run out. Didn't want to get too close to it because it just get blowing us up. And if you were soloing it, then it was one of those things. But these days, there's so much more in the game that you can still kind of get away with shooting from the back. I mean, scout rifles are a thing that do a lot of damage with and just continuous ammo. So it's one of those things that it's got to have its specific usage, but I think it's going to be really good. And the trait I think that you were talking about is defeating targets with this weapon cause them to explode. Precision final blows or shattering a frozen target instead triggers an ignition.
Ignition, yeah, there we go.
Respawn apparently as a prismatic hunter, it out damages every exotic weapon. I just looked it up, and apparently as a prismatic hunter, using your dusk-filled grenades with your withering blade, you can do almost 375% more damage as DPS to a boss compared to another exotic weapon.
That's got him interested now.
How though? Because it doesn't get extra damage. Oh, because it ignites the crystals. Yeah. I see.
So apparently, it's one big minefield.
I see now. Yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah, maybe that'll be worth chasing.
We've convinced you.
Well, no, I'm not convinced. I'd have to see it in play. I'd have to see what build he's referring to. Is it the one with the new mask? Will you get all the like shuriken stars or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a check. I still gotta learn the mechanics and find a good way to do it. I've run the last dungeon. I think my count is up to 50 something runs now, and I still don't have the exotic from the last season's dungeon yet. So
Buried Bloodline.
yeah, Buried Bloodline. Still ain't got that. So odds not in my favor at this point. We'll see how this plays out.
Well, I mean, you should do what I do. Just don't care about it, and then they will just give it to you. Because I think I've only done duality, I'd probably say 3 times. And on the 3rd or 4th time that I did it, I got the exotic. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And yeah, just moved on. I don't play it every time and every week, so...
I can't help but care. I'm a loot goblin, and Bungie knows. Even if I say I don't care, they're like, yeah, well, your gameplay says otherwise, so we're going to build the algorithm accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did have a dungeon race and a competition, and I believe last week we congratulated Peroty and I, the first place winners, but then they said they had to get back to us and kind of tell us who the 2nd place and 3rd place were because they needed to sort out some things. So 1st place went to Tides, Pine, and Special Hero. 2nd place, and I'm going to read these for you. No, I've got this. Don't laugh at me, right? I've got this. 2nd place.
He's preemptively laughing. It must be good.
Is Ning Ning and She Meiyong Yu Yang Wei, which means, it translates into English, things didn't go as planned. And the 3rd one of 2nd place was Jing Yo. There you go. So that was 2nd place. Ning Ning, things didn't go as planned, and Jing Yo. And 3rd place was Dragon, Gum, and Soto. See, you're laughing at me now, Donny, but I already did my research, did the translation, because I thought, I'm not going to be lazy.
If you hadn't translated
the pronunciation, though, so...
Yeah, I probably butchered the pronunciation, but rather than just going, oh, some Chinese people won when there's Chinese symbols,
you're assuming that's Chinese. We don't know if that's Korean or Chinese or Japanese or.
When I put it into Google and said translate into
Ocean, I mean, I don't know. I don't claim to know. You're the one that's claiming it's Chinese, bro.
Look, it says in Google that it's Chinese.
Yeah, well, when I put in some of the things my wife says in Google, it says it's Spanish when she's speaking Portuguese. So,
Well, I do apologize if I got it wrong, but things didn't go as planned. Sounds like a very good translation.
That's an excellent name.
Yeah. So they will be celebrating their valor and skill with the winners bundle composed of the new Vesper's Host bracelet and Vesper's Host activewear hoodie, customized with their Bungie name. And then in last week, they went over the 14 different regions that have been competing against each other in the speedrun competition for Vesper's Host. And they will be giving away the Tau pamphlet emblem as a giveaway. So you have to go and check these guys out. So the stream schedule and creators are below in the TWAB. And we did go over it last week, but they will start on Tuesday, the 22nd of October, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PDT. And run all the way through to Tuesday, the 29th of October at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. PDT. And if you want to kind of go and support your local region, because they've actually given where they are and who's kind of in there, that's cool. It's in the 12. And then it's a bit late, Bungie, but they've given us an introduction to Tonics. I'd say you're about 2.5 weeks a bit too late for this. I think this is something we needed at the beginning. Did you guys struggle with Tonics to start off with like I did? Because like I was saying to Peroty, I was like, I got stuck because I crafted a couple of Tonics and then it just kept going, you need more Tonics. I'm like, well, I've gone off and done other things. How do I get more Tonics? In this week's TWAB, they break it down for you and basically tell you what you need to do to kind of complete this first act of Revenant.
Ooh, you're in trouble. He just watched Bife videos, and Bife says it is Atrax, and he is saying very mean things to you right now in chat.
Look, he's not meant to go off and watch the Bife video and then come back. He's meant to be here in the show.
Got you out. Oh my god! Thank you, Dimwee. I needed that. But yes. What were we saying before Dimwee called you out? Like Tonics. I got lucky, honestly, because I was doing the new, what do you call it? The 50 level horde mode thing, right? Yeah, onslaught. And I was like, well, I mean, it keeps running out, so I just like made a whole bunch of the tonic, and I was like, all right, ting 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 ting, and it's like, you've unlocked a new tonic. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So you just got to create enough of one to unlock its next tier, and then you create enough of its next one to unlock its next tier, etc. So they're like in categories or something like that. And that's what I figured out. I don't know if it's what you're talking about, but that's what I've got. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
By pure accident, just made more than enough of those, and I was like, oh, you unlocked the next one. Like,
yeah, but the problem is I clicked so fast. I clicked so fast. You need like 4 or 5, and I had already made like 10 before I'm like, oh. Well, there's a lot of wasted materials. Oh yeah. So yeah, just like I think the number's like 4 or 5, and then you unlock the next tier. So don't spam click like I did.
Well, no, you can spam click it because
you absolutely can.
It just gives you kind of more potions, but then you have to kind of make sure that if you're going to refresh it, it does tell you on the screen, but do it when after the 20 minutes or 30 minutes is up or 40 minutes.
No, spam making them.
When them is when you unlock it. Yeah.
What? No, not pop them, dude. No, when you make them, not use them. What the? No. You what?
No, but if you've got loads of them, you can still pop them as and when, can't you?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh. Okay.
Bless you.
Bless you. Learn to speak proper English. You English person thing.
Yes. So in the TWAB this week, the Bungie explain, going over the major and minor field works and how to kind of unlock the tonics and how to get more and go off and do different things to get the goodness out of them. So
yeah, or turn into the Colonel or a frog or just be invisible.
Yeah.
You can do that with a tonic?
Yeah, when you taste test them.
Really?
Yep.
No, it's not permanent. No, he's thinking permanent. Oh, you have to explain these things.
No, it's not even permanent, just like at all. Because I've only taste tested like the onslaught weapon ones, and nothing's ever happened to me. I didn't know that would happen.
No. When you craft them in the potion lab with Ida.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about. When you taste test them, nothing's ever happened to me when I've taste tested them. But I also make like 10 at a time. So when I taste test like the 10 that I'm making, it just does the one taste test. So I don't know if that matters, but I've never transformed into anything. I did not know that was a thing. That's kind of awesome. Do you get like do you get like an achievement or something? Is that like a?
Haven't encountered it yet, but I had some bugs that when I turned into the Colonel, the whole gaming session that I had, I kept hearing the chicken going. The whole game, no matter what I played, onslaught, strikes, you name it, I just kept hearing the chicken all the time.
So let me ask you this: how long can you stay as a chicken? Can you like walk around the tower as a chicken?
No.
Hang out?
Well, I think you can take a couple of steps and then it's gone. But
that's terrible. Yo, we need a permanent. Listen, hey Bungie, hold on. Since you've introduced this into the game, you know how you have the Halloween thing and you can turn this into like snowmen, or you used to turn this into snowmen and things like that. We need a Colonel potion, okay? Now, I'm not saying we need to be able to use it out in the world playlist, right? Where you actually have to shoot your guns and whatnot. Although a chicken with a gun would be amazing. At least in the social spaces, I need to be the Colonel. That's what I'm saying. Make it happen.
That would be bad, though. Just going into trials, facing a full squad of frogs and chickens with guns.
Why would that be bad? That sounds amazing. What? I would absolutely go to trials. I don't even care. Hitbox. Who gives a No, I want to fight chickens and frogs in trials. Let's do this. And I mean, I don't even care if they're full size with full size hitbox or make them frog and chicken size. I don't care. I want to see chickens and frogs in trials. And not just the heads. Don't give me the Halloween mask. No, I want a full chicken suit. No, I want an actual chicken. Colonel Sanders, and under his wing, he's rocking a freaking a Gallahorn. I don't even care. All right, just let me see a chicken with a gun. You can turn into a plant. I don't want to turn into a plant. I want to turn into the chicken. Oh my god,
that just screams rage quitting.
But what? No, that would bring more players in this game than I've ever had in this game. Full stop. Promise you.
A bit like what happened this weekend with The Last Word, which was accidentally reactivated in trials, and I think it was hitting 180 for every shot.
Still 2-tapping. Nice.
They say accidentally, though. Didn't they just do that to spike their numbers in trials?
Possibly. But yeah, they had to quickly deactivate that this week.
Why? Make it another thing. We had laser tag weekend. Make it quick draw weekend.
No,
make it a thing.
No, it's okay.
Embrace the chaos. If the last word is bugging out, right? Last word, everybody or most everybody should have it in the game, and if not, you can unlock it, right? Quick draw weekend. Boom, done.
Well, it does give you more chance to go to the light tower because it's literally who slings it first will get the kill.
Yeah. If everyone had it.
There you go. Love it.
So instead of having Mayhem and Crucible, we just have once in a God knows how many weeks we have a certain weapon that breaks down, and we use that, and you have more chance to go to the lighthouse.
See, if the devs were really in touch with their fans, right, their community, they would document how they fixed these things, right, and put it in a little folder. Said, "Hey, this was the last word bug," right, and they would store it. And then they'd be like, "Hey, we're going to do a Wild West weekend, okay? And what's going to happen is we're going to intentionally make the last word, right, have ridiculous range and one shot you, right? So the first one that sees somebody else is going to get the drop. Boom, and that's it. That's trials for that weekend. There you go.
I don't see a problem with that.
I don't see a problem with it either. You know, and make it like a sub playlist. Like, hey, here's the trials specialty weekend. Here's your normal trials for those of you that don't want to have fun, and then here's the fun trials where you can, one shot people with the last word all weekend. Boom, done.
Okay, we'll get Peroty on that when he gets back.
Yeah, Peroty says you work for Bungie. You say he works for Bungie. There's a conspiracy going on here. No, he says you work for Bungie because when you say things in the podcast, it happens, and then whatever.
Well, I wish, yeah.
Whatever. I think you both work for Bungie, and I'm the one that's left out. I just wish I would bump my exotic numbers. At least do that for me, guys. Come on. I've been with y'all for 300 episodes. Help me out here.
Doesn't mean a thing.
You pay more silver for an RNG boost.
I would. My bank account would be empty.
So how have you guys been farming your kind of ingredients for your tonics? Is there anything that you have been doing? Because there was a couple of good cheeses last week with like a moon mission last week. I think it was Into the Deep, which isn't going to be back until not this week, coming up the week after. Yeah, well, you could go into this moon mission and you could kind of get to a certain point, stand in a doorway, and Infinite Thrall would kind of come out of this doorway and from behind you, use the Graviton Lance, fire it once, and it would just kind of bounce around for the next 5 minutes, killing things. And it would get you the first ingredients on the track. And it maxes out at 1,000, which I didn't realise until I was not getting the little purple blobbies or pink blobbies. But it also then gives you the other two ones every now and then when you kind of get explosions. The other two, I think it was the other two green ingredients. And I was getting quite a lot of those to then, once you've got those kind of maxed out, you can then go to your tonics, IDO, and kind of create them over and over and over again, which gives you lots more. So, but then I think that we had a video that was go to the Grasp of Avarice, like dungeon cave, and just kind of fire in there again with Graviton Lance and just kind of farm that. But is there anything that you guys have been doing, or is it just being Onslaught and just kind of not worrying about it?
Just
Onslaught, not worrying about it. Yeah, legit.
But if you say that, then why can't we use it in the Shattered Throne? Will it give ingredients there?
I don't know.
The Infinite Trolls.
I think it was. I think it was giving it there. Yeah, because I vaguely remember kind of when I ran through it the first week, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good place, and kind of just shooting the thrall. But the other two people were running through it. They just wanted to get through it really quickly.
Bungie trying to continuously dying at solo flawless attempts. Solo flawless at what, bud? What happened this weekend? Sorry, somebody Dimwee is talking about continuously dying at solo flawless attempts. I must have missed a part of this conversation y'all were having.
So is that because of those weird modifiers we had when when an engram dropped and you were like, oh, engram, let me get my loot, and it exploded?
Oh, that! Do you know how many times I died before I realized that was a thing? Oh my god! And it's not just the engrams; it's ammo bricks too, man.
Yeah, they changed it up. First was engrams.
Is it ammo bricks as well?
Yes, heavy and special ammo bricks will also detonate.
Oh no!
Yes, that's so scumbaggy, and I love it. I just wish I'd have known about it sooner.
Can you imagine doing that to your fire team? Like, oh, I have special ammo finder. There you go. There's a brick.
Yeah, because I went in there with that new rocket. I went in there with Micah when we were first doing the hard level stuff, right? And I had that new grenade launcher, and I was popping special, like all special and heavy everywhere, right? And we all kept dying whenever we'd go pick up bricks. I guess because they thought I was popping it, and I thought they were popping it, and we were dying, and it was like, and the thing that was killing us, I didn't recognize what it was, and then eventually, Micah said, "Oh, that's we're being killed by ammo bricks." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And yeah, no, ammo bricks, engrams. I think there's a third thing that'll disguise itself and it'll kill you. That's pretty dirty, Bungie. And it's a nasty trick. Oh man, it's good though. It's funny.
It's a way to keep us busy.
It is. But hey, it does let you know before it detonates. It doesn't just insta detonate. It will spark, before it detonates. So you have a chance to get away, and you can. It's not like spark, boom. It's like, bzz, and you're like, oh, and then you have a chance to get away, and then you're good. So you have time if you know what to look for. But if you're just walking up and like you're standing over heavy and wondering why you haven't gotten heavy, you're gonna die. Pay attention. And they do one shot, especially in the Grandmaster. They will absolutely one shot you. Not Grandmaster, Master. Sorry. I kind of hijacked that, but
no, it's fine.
It's not fine. I do that a lot, and I shouldn't. I get excited. I'm sorry.
So you both of you, have you been enjoying kind of being able to go through just doing the story like very quickly and then just getting into Onslaught and playing the game and just enjoy playing how you want to play and popping the tonics to get whatever you want?
I've done it until I didn't have any quests left, so that's a thing. But it's a bit weird. It's okay that you can do it on your own pace.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like it's so much shorter because you can do them back to back now.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, you can just play Onslaught and just do that and pop your tonics to get your weapons, to do your boosts, and it's just not. It doesn't feel like it's a slog. It just feels like you can go and play and enjoy and do a bit of build crafting, play with new weapons, and just have fun, and not have to worry about kind of, well, I've got to go and play this mission, which kind of just is a kind of go over here and do this, shoot the enemies, and then I've got to go to 6 holo projectors, then go and speak to the same person in the same place to then go back and do another mission. It's just kind of, if you want to do it really quickly, you can do it really quickly. You can kind of do all these, you can do your kind of star chores and just do your field works backwards and forwards, which do seem like go here, find a thing that's buried in the snow, and then go and shoot a couple of enemies, or go and do this, and then you kind of go back and do major field work where you just kind of stand at a bench and drink something, and it's like, oh, kill 15 enemies within 2 minutes. It's like, that is a little bit of a kind of chore, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to really quickly. But then, it does reward you for doing the minor and the major quicker and getting ingredients for your tonics to then go off and play even more. But Respawn, what about you?
I haven't really done the storyline, I guess. I just got to the point where I could start popping tonics to go into Onslaught with them, and that's really where I stopped.
So you haven't done any minor and major field work with Ida yet?
I don't know how. She's given me stuff like she says, "Hey, I need a tonic," and once I got to a point where I could like make blue tonics, she completed a thing for me. But unless
Yeah.
I've done it accidentally and didn't realize it, no, I don't think I have.
Oh, well, there's a lot of like, you pick up a couple of the quests or the minor and the major field work. You can pick up 2 minor or however many minor that you've done for.
Those? Oh, yeah, I've been doing those passively. I haven't really paid
Yeah.
attention. I pick them up, and when they say they're done, I turn them in. I haven't paid. That's the storyline. Those quests, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
there was the opening mission, which was kind of go and confront Fickrel with Crow and run back out of there with a bomb. And I think that was it. The rest of it is kind of do the fieldwork stuff, go and play Onslaught and have fun.
Oh.
Get the weapons that you want.
Nice.
I'm not sure what kind of Act 2 will bring. Act 2, hopefully, well, I do know what Act 2 is going to bring, but that's spoilers.
Fair enough.
I mean, do you want to talk spoilers?
I mean, hey, spoiler alert, guys! If you don't want to listen, whatever. Use it. Yeah, go ahead and go into it. If they don't want to hear it, they'll click off right now.
Well, you remember the Prison of Elders?
Yes.
How would you like to be playing that again?
Well, we don't have Kate anymore, so it's not going to be as fun.
Well, okay. Prison of Elders was Destiny 1, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had,
Oh, is that the one where like a random boss would come out and you wouldn't know which one you had to fight? Is it that one?
Yeah, you got to do 3 rooms, wasn't it? And then the last
waves,
one,
rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sent you to different rooms, and then you drop down at the end to go and get your treasure. A bit like we have with the Ward of Nothing strike.
Yeah.
It kind of takes you to that final room where the bombs are, but then they kind of haven't kind of expanded on that until now. So in Act 2, we are going to be getting the Tomb of Elders. So not the Prison of Elders, it's the Tomb of Elders. And there are some leaks that are over on Bungie Leaks. I've found these ones on Twitter. It tells you of the objectives and the bosses. So the objectives are defeat the Gladiator Brothers, defeat the Lightblade, defeat Psylocke the Defiled, who is apparently Dread now, defeat the Machinist, find and kill the Rifleman, defeat the Warden Servitor, and kill Skolas, Scorn Wolf. Majors are defeat Cryopod Inhabitants, defeat Shielded Scion, defeat Armored Thresher, defeat Dreaded Lieutenant, defeat Scornwalker, defeat Revenant Lieutenant to disrupt manufacturing, and defeat Quartermaster. And then general objectives are deposit resources, destroy generators, defeat Hive Ritualists, destroy runestones, ring Lucent Bell, reach Traversal Corridor, and survive the Warden's punishment. And critical objectives are vent poison and dismantle mines. Yes.
Oh, sorry, it's been a while.
Yeah. Psylocke the Defiled is the one that will just.
You had me at the dismantle mines. Just stop there.
Yes. So apparently the main boss is going to be Skolas the Scorn Wolf and Warden Servitor. Obviously, they're back. We didn't defeat them in the Warden of Nothing strike. The Revenant Barons. So we've got Pariah the Rifleman, Rixis Van the Hangman, Hyrixis the Mindbender, Elrix the Machinist, Arixis the Trickster, and Kankis the Mad Bomber. So we're getting those guys back again.
Yeah,
but they're going to be in the Prison of Elders because we've locked them back up.
Well.
Legacy
that makes sense. Yeah. Because okay. Yeah.
Legacy prisoners are the Kalkis Twice Betrayed, Wexis the Mighty, Psylocke the Defiled, and Urox the Arisen Ember. And the Lucent Hive are Wizards, Lucent Hunter, Lucent Titan, and the Lightblade. Dread Colony is Subjugator of the Whispers, and the Gladiator Brothers are the Gladiator Borum Elder Brother and Gladiator Morum Younger Brother.
Is that the ones you had to get close together to kill them?
I think so.
Yeah,
that sounds like the gladiators from the. It was the strike on the Dreadnought from Destiny 1, wasn't it?
Like if they were too far apart, like their shields would engage and they'd be immune. and you had to get them close to each other to disrupt whatever magnetic field they had to bring down their shield so you could damage them. Yeah, I remember those guys.
I think that's the ones. Yeah. So yeah, that's our activity, which sounds cool. I mean, we've got Onslaught, then we've got this activity, and then there's going to be another activity in Act 3, which is potentially going to be another exotic mission. Because, I mean, these aren't spoilers, because if you go to the Tonic capsules and you look at the ingredients, it actually tells you where you're going to be going in Act 2 and Act 3. Because one of the ingredients is only available in the Tomb of Elders.
Tomb of Elders, yeah, I saw that.
And then the other one is only available in this exotic mission. It's like, you're not really kind of spoiling things. I mean, if they'd put question marks, made more sense, but yeah. But I'm excited to play a bit more Prison of Elders, because that was a hard thing to do. We had that instead of kind of having a raid or a dungeon, but it was a 3-man encounter or 3 guardian encounter that was just, it was in some weeks with the different modifiers and the different burns on it. It was so hard, and to get through it on kind of, I think it was a master level or an expert level, was just so difficult. And I think I only did it once with my kind of 2 elite friends that I had at the time that just would drag me through all the different things. But yeah, I think we only did it once. The harder one to get, I think it was to get an exotic. I can't remember now. Can you guys remember?
Nope.
Okay.
You're asking me wrong person about memory issues.
We had a lot of stuff to do in Destiny 1 where we could get exotics, but
yeah, I still Gallahorn. Just bleh.
That's where I got my Gallahorn. Yeah, I got my Gallahorn from playing the Prison of Elders.
I will never forget. So, like, exotics back in the day for the new players used to be literally exotic, right? And like, they didn't drop like candy like they do now. And for me, for example, when the game first started, like the first week you could buy the Gallahorn from Xur, right? And then you couldn't buy the Gallahorn again until like a week or 2 before Destiny 2 launched, right? And during that entire time, like, the Gallahorn was a staple in almost every endgame activity. Almost everyone. You had to have the Gallahorn or you couldn't even get into a fire team. And it was such a pain in the ass, right? And I never got one. I got mine when Xur sold it again right before Destiny 2 came out. And I was like, you know what? I just... Ooh. So, like, when people complain about exotics come too easy in this game, I remember those days, and I'm just like, shut your face hole. I don't want those days back.
Well, you have them with your RNG in the dungeons.
Yeah, well, it's only the one exotic I don't have. So, well, 2 now with Icebreaker, but
it's always the last one in your collection you need.
Yeah, well, last 2, I guess.
Yeah, looking back at it, I've just had a look on the Destiny wiki. The Prison of Elders is a cooperative player versus enemy arena that consists of 5 rounds of 3 waves of each round, and a wave being random. The final round is a random mini-boss, and each round will take place in a run that corresponds with the enemy species, Fallen, Hive, Vex, and Cabal, and rounds had modifiers enabled. In each wave, enemies spawn must be eliminated. Some waves have an objective or an additional objective, such as defusing mines, destroying mines, or eliminating targets that must be completed within the time limit. If all members of the fire team die or the objective is not completed before the time is up, the team must restart that round. And I vaguely remember on the hardest setting, that was when you kind of just got sent back to orbit. Or no, did you have to restart again? But then you didn't have flags, and you didn't have kind of, you could then...
Yeah, you started all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you did have ammo synth.
Yeah, but,
we have
that was
ammo
on a timer.
Finishers?
We did not have finishers. No, we did not.
We didn't have finishers.
Now we do.
Yeah, well, true.
It's not the same, but...
It's not the same. No, the ammo synth would completely refill whatever you had, but it had
a timer.
What, a 5 or a 10 or a 20-minute timer or something? It was a long timer depending on what ammo you popped.
So there were no checkpoints in the Prison of Elders, and Guardians who quit the Prison of Elders activity before it's completed would not be able to resume from where they left off. I vaguely remember that, like, if you jumped out at the end of boss, you wouldn't be able to kind of jump in. or maybe you were, but it was to get your friends in. I think maybe that's how we did it. Sometimes there was kind of a few cheeses. Anyway, yeah.
So a mini Onslaught before we had Onslaught.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, yeah.
And some of the bosses are still available in this new version of the Tomb of Elders. So we had the Broken Legion, the Cult of Worms, the Machine's Wrath, the Forever Eater, Urux's Grudge, and Skolas's Revenge. We had the bosses Valus Tarag, Kakis Reborn, Golrock Unclean, Urox Flame Prince, Quadron Gate Lord, and Skolas Kell of Kells. So poor old Skolas hasn't managed to kind of escape. He's still there. Bless him.
Bless him.
Well, you would have thought
We know what team you play on.
if there was a prison break and kind of it all just went to hell and everybody kind of got let out, then surely you would try and escape, not kind of stay there. Unless they're feeding him quite well. Maybe they're feeding him.
Whatever.
Well, they're in there for a reason.
They are. But, there was that whole breakout, that whole, kind of expansion.
Oh, no, they broke out the Scorn. They didn't break out.
Look, when I was running through there and it was all on fire, other people had broken out of their cells.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, he had his chance, he didn't escape, and now we've got to go back and fight him again. And it's Verix the one that's kind of organising this.
Yes.
That makes sense.
If he's back, he tried to be a kill, realized he sucks at it, and said, you know what? I belong in the prisoner. I'm a scribe, not a kill. You're a warden, not a kill, brother. Although he did make his own house, didn't he? The house of
No, that's Mithrax, House Light.
No, not Misrax. And it's Misrax. Say it right. It is.
No.
Misrax. He's that bro, he says it himself. Misrax. Shut up. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. It's House Judgment, I think. I think it's House Judgment is the one that he made.
Did he make it or did he just join it?
That's a good damn question. You're making me second guess myself.
Yep. Well, you never know if he did make it, create it, or just join it, because
he joined it and took it over, apparently, according to Destinypedia.
Yeah.
So he resurrected the old house. It's one of the oldest houses.
Oh, so I was right. It was Judgment. Ha-ha! Dun, 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 dun.
Well, there you go.
I remember the scene. So,
Squirrel!
This jacket, this hoodie, what is this? I guess this would be a zip-up hoodie.
It's a zip-up hoodie. You've gone back in time to look at the hoodie.
I did.
It's because it has sparkly stuff on it.
It does. I like that. It's pretty cool. I'd get it, but then my wife would steal it, so now I'm conflicted.
Oh.
Technically, it will still be yours. It's just you cannot wear it.
Yeah.
But then that's not the point. I want to wear it.
She might disagree with that.
I would say stop going back in time with Destiny, but that's exactly what we're going to be doing with Destiny Rising, which is the next article in the TWAB this week.
No. I'm not going to play a Destiny mobile game.
He
says that now until we can get exclusive loot from there in our game.
Bro, if that happens, I'm going to be super tilted. No. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Well, we have Twitch drops and stuff, so I can crossover events. Come on.
I'm not saying it can't. I'm saying it shouldn't.
So Destiny Rising is a new free-to-play mobile sci-fi RPG shooter set within the rich tapestry of the Destiny universe and is being developed by and published by their partners over at NetEase Games. It will deliver a brand new adventure set in an alternate Destiny timeline, where it will also explore a narrative in the post-Dark Age era. Have you guys watched the trailer for this? Did you watch the trailer and then?
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, and I pre-registered for it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's a Destiny game, dude. No.
So I will also link it in the show notes, the trailer, and there's like a mini Vidoc explaining what NetEase kind of wanted to do with the IP and where they kind of saw the game kind of going, with a few people from Bungie kind of jumping in. But it looks interesting. It piqued
It
my
has
interest.
potential.
Interesting, not amazing, not awesome, not beautiful.
Okay,
Interesting.
it's
And
amazing.
that-
It's beautiful.
that's
Well, no, I mean, I think beforehand I was like, oh, Destiny mobile game. Is it going to be something like, top-down shooter kind of thing? Is it just going to be?
Or a gacha game.
Yeah,
It's got to be a gacha game because if it's free to play, then you are the product. Okay, so
but it just looks like a Destiny game on mobile.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a mix of Destiny and Diablo kind of games in the way you look at it.
is
from
it
the
top
view.
down? Is it first person?
No,
First
it's
person and third person.
Yeah, and third, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the third person.
But I think what's really interesting is that it takes place in a different timeline, and the potential for the kind of the crossover or the story implications that we have. That where does this take place, and where does the kind of our timeline split from this timeline, and what are the differences with the story? What do we do different in this timeline to make it different from where we are now? And is there going to be ways that we can kind of see in this timeline how we can change stuff in Destiny 2? Is it going to be that deep and enriching as a kind of story?
You mean as in a what if universe?
Yeah.
I don't want a what if universe. I don't like those things.
I mean, just the weapons look cool. The supers are different, which also looks amazing. And
So it's not the same universe then.
There's a warlock that can summon a scythe and just slash the battleground with it. It's like this void scythe as a super, and it's like your staff that you can kind of zip around and just and then there's heavy weapons that they pull out with just kind of explosions all over the place, and it looks like an onslaught map at some point that it's just kind of just constant fighting, and all the locations look very Destiny but are different. There's a new speaker as well, or a speaker as part of kind of
how can it be a new speaker if it's in the past?
Well, because in the past
Shouldn't
we've
that
had
be
speakers.
like an old speaker?
Huh?
Shouldn't it be an old speaker or a different speaker or an
Well,
original speaker?
I don't know. Nobody really knows whether it's a speaker that we've had in the past before our speaker kind of took over, or if it's a completely new speaker, because it's again set in a different universe, an alternate timeline kind of thing. Which
Well, what is it? I mean, is it different universe? Is it alternate timeline? Is it this timeline? Because those matter. Or do we even know? Are we guessing here? If we're guessing, we're
it's
guessing.
set in an alternate Destiny timeline.
Okay.
Which has the potential for kind of the crossover, because we have characters that have jumped from through different kind of timelines, like we've had with Osiris, the Stranger, that have kind of seen or been part of other timelines. So there could be some kind of crossover with that. Ikora Ray is a prominent figure in this, but there's no Zavala, there's no Cade that we can see at this point in time.
I'm definitely not playing it. Nope, we're done.
Well, he says that until he sees how that hunter looks with an Anubis mask on the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cade's not in it. And you see, I'm not really worried about Anubis. I want to be a dragon, not a dog. Okay.
Then you have to be a warlock. I'm sorry, sir.
I'm not ever going to do that.
It's the first mobile game in the Destiny franchise, and you can enter the era of heroes and legends, where familiar Destiny faces meet intriguing new characters, each with rich story, unique personality, and formidable skills. Experience top-tier sci-fi shooter action FPP or TPP as you embark on a new adventure in an alternate Destiny timeline. Play as these unique characters to defend the future Earth and reclaim humanity's future. And yeah, there is a Destiny Rising page, and as I said, there's the kind of the Vidoc and the actual trailer, and you can register for the first closed alpha test, which starts on the 1st of November, with a caveat that you have to be in the US or Canada, and you don't find that out until you kind of click through and you put in your email and you go, oh, I like this, this, and this, and then it goes, oh, by the way, US and Canada only. So, I forethought this, so I put one email address as the UK and then one email address as the US. So, hopefully I'll be selected.
But good on you. Good thinking. Now you
Yeah.
have another addiction to feed and something else for your wife to yell at you about.
Yeah, and they do have a Discord as well, which is very active. I joined that as well. Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
It's not even out yet, and it's got a very active Discord.
Yes, it does. It actually does. More active than the normal Destiny one.
For some reason, I'm not surprised about that.
I think people are just kind of excited that it's a different take on Destiny and the potential that it has for kind of the crossover. Like Donny was saying, it's like, you know, if you play this game, do you get something in the other game, or does something in the mobile game affect something that's going to happen in the future of our game, or vice versa? Is there something that we've kind of done in our game that we can then use as kind of as an experience to kind of help us in this game?
It's something that a lot of the community wanted, an expansion of the whole universe, and this is the first thing we're actually getting that's an expansion.
Did we want it on a mobile game?
It's a start.
Who asked for that?
Well, they can put some lore in there.
Okay, put it in an app.
Doesn't Bife already have enough work?
I mean, look, you're kind of just proving my point there, right? Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining. Maybe. But I don't, it's a mobile game. It's a mobile game, dude. What? Who plays mobile games here? Like, aside from just like a time killer between, like, I don't know, waiting for a doctor's appointment. Who seriously, like, games on a phone, like something hardcore, like a Diablo or a PUBG or something. You know, who does that?
Younger generation?
Do they?
Well, they do spend a lot of stuff on those stores as when they play different kind of games that are also on consoles and have their mobile versions, and they want skins on that, or you name it.
I don't know. Somebody somewhere thought this was a good idea. Why though? Just think of how all this money they've spent on doing this would have been better off building servers that would accommodate larger vault space. You know? Whatever.
I get you, but I do think that this is the first step that they can take now to expand the universe, and they promised us a lot with their comics and maybe even TV series or web shows and you name it.
TV series would have been better though. I mean, honestly, a TV series would have been better.
Agreed, but this is the first legitimate thing we're getting now.
Yeah, and this was a deal that was made back before kind of the Sony merger. This was NetEase, I think, gave them like, is it 100 million to kind of to use the franchise, and they've used it in a very interesting way. I mean, we've always asked to kind of go back and play from a certain era, and this is what they're kind of giving us, but it's kind of, it gives them kind of free reign to kind of take this game and the lore in a different direction.
So is this a Daddy, whatever
NetEase?
You said, NetEase? Is this a NetEase thing or is this a Bungie thing?
No,
that
this
matters.
is NetEase.
NetEase.
They just paid 100 million for the licensing of it.
That's different than Bungie saying, "Hey, we want a mobile game." All right, I think I'm starting to see what happens here. Okay, I was infuriated for the wrong reasons. Let me back off a little bit. All right, I thought this was Bungie saying, "Hey, we're gonna make a mobile game because we want to make a mobile game." My bad. This is actually just another company saying, "Hey, we want to use your IP to make a mobile game with your lore, your universe, your characters." All right.
Yeah.
I understand. My bad. I'm backing off.
Okay.
Cool.
So, as a genesis of the new possibilities of the Destiny universe, Destiny Rising delves into the unseen era. With the help of legendary Iron Lords, humanity has broken free of its shackles of the tyranny and begins to rally together against an alien forces intent on its extinction. Amidst the chaos of this early age for the city, a new generation of lightbearers, resurrected by the mysterious entities known as ghosts, set out to restore humanity's prominence and secure its future. Experience iconic, best-in-class sci-fi shooter action at your fingertips. Choose between the highly immersive first-person view or the newly fully third-person action view and play with the touchscreen or compatible controller precision.
Can you imagine a touchscreen? Ugh. Please, a touch.
we have legendary characters in battle. Enter an era of heroes and legends where familiar faces are joined by a host of new, intriguing characters. Each character comes with a rich personal story, unique personality, and formidable skills. Choosing the right character and mastering their combat style will be your key to overcoming the challenging foes that stand in your way. Dynamic PvE and PvP game modes.
Why?
Choose from a wide variety of game modes such as campaign missions and 6-player cooperative strikes that are iconic to the Destiny franchise, along with all new replayable PvE and PvP modes. Embark on thrilling online multiplayer action along with your fellow players, build strong clans, experience fun and casual party game modes, customize shared spaces, and more. Join in with your friends to fight off invading enemies or challenge them to test your skills. And
They
you
have
can
the Huckleberry in this game? The actual Huckleberry.
I don't know if it's the Huckleberry.
Yeah, it showed up. Well, it looked like it.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
it looks just like it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it looks like the Huckleberry. You can explore Earth after the collapse, journey throughout the world fighting back against the darkness from the Sanctuary of Haven, a refuge for the Lightbearers and survivors, to the icy ancient metro of Jiangxi and the arid expanse of the Red Sea Rift. Traverse diverse sci-fi blooms and uncover hidden stories and adventures in the distant future Earth. Search for the seeds of hope that will shape the future of humanity's civilization in the entire new Destiny narrative. And yeah, we've got some concept art of weapons that are going to be in the game, and it looks like the Huckleberry. That auto rifle there with the spike on it looks like an old Destiny 1 auto rifle that we had for Iron Banner. And crossbow. We've got a crossbow. Why can't we have crossbows in the normal game?
Is that a crossbow or is that just an auto rifle that's got a crossbow on the front?
Crossbow.
Well, isn't that what is it? The Warlord's Ruin weapon also kind of a crossbow?
Buried Bloodline, but that's a sidearm. But yeah, I get what you're going on.
No, but this one, no. In Nidedemon's defense, this has the strings and everything attached.
It looks really like it. I agree.
Yeah. Now, if this was if this functioned like a sniper, you had to take the time to load the bolt, but when you hit, they're done. You know that. I mean, a body shot with a crossbow bolt, it's game over, bro. You know, so you ain't walking away from that. So yeah, that'd be a pretty decent archetype.
So the roster that we've got at the moment that they go over is we'll have iconic figures like Ikora Rey, the Iron Lord Jolda, and the youthful Kabir, but you'll also have the chance to play as them and other renowned heroes of yore. This is your era before the Guardians were defined, and the classes of Hunter, Titan, and Warlock have not yet been solidified. Each character comes with a distinct and unique playstyle, offering a fresh, immersive experience.
Nope.
So you can build into sort of classes. So the leaks that we had not that long ago, that they said that we were going to be able to make characters that we can spec into certain abilities, just comes back to this game now.
Yeah. In addition to the familiar names and faces of Destiny 2, we will have an expansive roster of new characters for you to master, including many new Lightbearers whose legendary stories you can experience firsthand. At the heart of it is you, the protagonist known as Wolf, whose gender and appearance you can customize as you embark on your journey. And then they go over for the closed alpha, which they'll discuss more in detail later. You'll have the opportunity to experience gameplay with 11 unique characters, but that's just the beginning. There are more characters on the horizon. Each Lightbearer has 2 weapon slots, one for primary ammo and one for power ammo. Each slot has an availability weapon type, which differs depending on what playable character. For example, Wolf can equip auto rifles as their primary weapon and grenade launchers for their power weapon. And you have a shared inventory between all characters. Hopefully, it's a vault that's kind of just, you can just have as much stuff in there as you like, because, you know.
It's a mobile game. Normally, you can buy vault space.
Yeah, there you go. I can buy my vault space.
You asked, you got it there.
Yeah. You share your inventory between all characters so that you can share the weapons you unlock between those capable of wielding the same weapon type. That's a bit like how we had with like Destiny 1, where you could only have certain things for certain characters, couldn't you? I remember that it was the Talarlock was the Warlock one. The sniper rifle for the Hunters. These were just legendary weapons, weren't they? That you could only equip on those characters. I think the Titan was the shotgun. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that was it. They came with there was a certain expansion that we kind of you could only use those weapons on those characters. Sounds a bit like this. And then each Lightbearer wields a unique relic that plays a great part in defining their gameplay, capable of unleashing powerful super abilities as well as their 2 signature abilities. In addition to the set of perks, for example, Kabir wields the Thunder Shield, granting a shocking array of arc element attacks capable of blinding as well as sturdy shield that can block enemy attacks. Along with some of the classic game modes that Destiny players might have already been familiar with, we also have many more new modes. Each is designed to provide different experiences and levels of challenge. PvP and PvE. There's just... And then sign up for the closed beta, November 1st. So
Yes.
I'm feeling it. Donny's feeling it. Respawn, are you feeling it yet?
No.
Okay.
But
Good,
we're
good,
going to
good.
have raids in there on our mobile
Sorry.
phones.
Oh, well, I'm sold. Oh.
No, I think the raids would have to be something completely different because you can't be on a raid for like 6 hours like you can now on your console. I think maybe there'll be shorter.
Will a phone
things.
survive that?
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I mean, you can plug your phone in.
You can plug your phone in. And is it going to be kind of?
Sounds so off. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm being negative, but this just
Yeah.
does not sound good.
You're being a negative Nancy.
I am. Admittedly I am, and it just sounds bad. It does. I'm sorry.
Well, but is it because you don't like mobile gaming, or is it just because they gave certain things that we actually wanted in the main game that came to the mobile version and not the normal game?
Why does it have to be limited to ore?
No,
Why
true.
can't it be both?
Agreed,
I
but
hate mobile games and the other thing you said.
It's going
Anyway.
to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least, to see how this kind of plays out and see if it is popular and see if it gets people into the Destiny franchise.
as long as they keep those loot boxes out of it, that means that I can still play it over here, because once they have those, they're going to ban it in my country.
Yeah.
They won't though, because this is what I was saying earlier. If it's free to play, you are the product, right? Meaning they will get their money from you. That's that. I mean,
Well, they can put ads
they're
in
either
it.
going to sell your data, or they're going to have loot boxes, or whatever the case is going to be. But they will get their money somehow, some way. Ads, putting something in the game that's going to make you so frustrated that you don't want to see ads anymore, or they're going to put some kind of a timing mechanic in there, like, oh yeah, you want to craft this weapon, well, you're going to have to wait 3 days for this weapon that you want. Like, let's say you get an exotic weapon, it won't just
pay for
like
it.
it does. Yeah, you could wait 3 days for the gunsmith to craft this exotic weapon for you, or you can just pay to have it done now, kind of a thing. And I'm not a fan of that.
You know why I can wait? Because I've got the original game. I can click a button, go, right, I'll have that one building over the next 5 days. I'll go and play the main game and then come back to this one.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good when you say it, but that's we'll see how it plays out. But I have a strong feeling that's how it's going to work. You know what I mean? Because that's how it usually does.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm all in for that. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna play it and see what it's like.
Well, yeah, no, you're gonna give it a go? Shocker! Anyone else surprised by this? Show of hands? No? Oh, just me then. He's so tired of my stuff right now. I was going to say the other word, but I've cursed a lot already. Remember the other days we used to have a counter in the show that would count how many times I could make Nitedemon sigh? I miss those days. We need to do that again. Those good times.
No, we don't.
I mean, says you're the victim in all this. You don't get to say.
Don't I just know it? Speaking of victims, Bungie Foundation Hurricane Relief for the victims of the 2 hurricanes that you guys have had. And thankfully, Respawn has got his power back, so he can kind of stream this week and be with us. So, but yeah, if you want to kind of donate now, because the campaign closes on the 31st of October, and you will get the exclusive Through the Storm emblem with all proceeds going to Team Rubicon and Direct Relief. So, yes, our hearts and thoughts are with those people that were affected, including Respawn, because he was affected, and we would have been lost without him.
I agree.
You would. Vesper's host Wallpapers. So how about some incredible wallpapers to showcase their latest dungeon to adorn your PC or phones? There you go. So there are some wallpapers which look pretty cool. I do like the gateway to the gate that we never got to go through. It's just kind of there. They teased us with this gate, this Vesper's host gate, and you don't even get to go through it. Maybe we'll get to go through it at some point, but you know.
Is that the long-lost gate
got me
that we
killed.
made with Ikora?
No, so that gate that gate got me killed, right? Because I came into a room and I saw that and I was like, oh man, that's cool. And they started the encounter without me knowing, and I got murked immediately.
Pay attention.
Well, no, that's in the dungeon. I don't know if you guys haven't been, but that's in the dungeon. That's the first encounter in the dungeon, I believe. And like this wallpaper doesn't kind of do it justice. It's actually a really, really gorgeous, like seeing it in person. And yeah, just pay attention to the dungeon. Make sure that if you're going to be looking at it, make sure that people aren't starting the encounter behind you.
Pay attention to the dungeon. So do what you're meant to do in the actual dungeon. Yeah. But yeah, so they have some really cool kind of backgrounds for your phone and your PC if you want. Don't be limited. Don't be limited to your PC. You can just put them anywhere you like. Print them out. Put them on your wall.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not. But I'm going to hand over to our stand-in Peroty this week, Mr. Donny. He's going to tell you all about his player support.
Are you now?
Well, I did say I'd give him something to read. You know, if he's standing in for Peroty, he's got to read that.
Well, the first thing that I'm going to read is going to upset you, Demon.
I'm already upset by it. Let's just not talk about it. You tell the people because I'm already upset.
Well, it's the Iron Banner date correction.
Oh.
In the previous tweet, we shared the Iron Banner would be back for 2 weeks on the 5th of November. The first information was incorrect. Iron Banner will be back on the week of November 26th, with Control, the featured game mode in the first week, and Tribute in the next one. So that's not the first time that they did that to us.
10 weeks. 10 weeks in between Iron Banners. 10 weeks since the last Iron Banner that we had on week 16 of the last act or episode. 10 weeks until the new one. What's that about, Bungie? And then we get 2 back-to-back, and we've discussed this. Look, if people can't be there for those 2 weeks, if they're on holiday or something, they've booked time off, they're not going to be able to play it until you kind of then bring it back. I don't know. I mean, that's really weird, because if we're getting it in week 8 and 9, then it's only going to be like a short space of like maybe another 4 weeks before we get it again.
So what you're saying is they have been listening to me. I doubted them the whole time.
So next week we're kind of not getting anything. And then the week after we've got Festival for 3 weeks. And then we've got the new act, which then probably starts after that. On the 19th of November. And then we've got Iron Banner for the 2 weeks. And then directly after that we've got I've put Dawning, but it's the Dawning. Yeah,
it's Dawning.
Yeah, Dawning for 3 weeks up until the end of December. And then hopefully maybe more Iron Banner a couple of weeks into that, because you've only got until the 4th of February before we kind of...
Usually with one of those events we have Banner that goes into the event, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think they want to keep them separate now. So Festival, a week off, 2 Iron Banners, and then directly into the Dawning, and then maybe a week off and then back to Iron Banners, because they haven't told us, from what I can see, that they'll be back after that.
Might be a surprise by then.
Go on then. You continue, sorry.
Okay.
Well, the known issues. The Helm landing zone takes players to the market district in the Lost City.
I thought that was intended behavior. Because they put the portal right behind you. I thought that was intended behavior. Okay.
Well, the portal brings you there, yes, but I think it's the fact that when you on where you choose all your planets and stuff, where you have to go, when you choose the Helm, it brings you to the district. And let's see, the health bar colors of major enemies has been altered, making it hard to distinguish between them and minor enemies' health bars colors. Is that the orangey glow now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what else?
That's
dialogue
why you gotta
and
make
narrative.
them pink, like I do. You don't have that problem.
But doesn't that make everyone pink then?
No. you have yellow and you have pink, and so for me the red bar, the minor enemies are red, the elite guys are yellow, and like a bright yellow, and I forgot which ones are pink. I have a deep red, I have pink, and I have yellow, so they're pretty easily distinguishable.
There it is. You found the solution then.
Well, I'm telling you the solution, so you stop having trouble, brother.
The dialogue and the narratives are missing for the minor and major fieldworks. So that's where the story went. The ability description for the Hunter Arcstaff Super does not mention the 3-attack combo or the ground slam that applies blind. And the UI for the Prismatic Warlock Solar Healing Grenade changes color based on the equipped super. That's actually kind of cool though. The Vantage Point Pulse Rifle cannot be equipped and equip the backup mod. Ether Siphon Seasonal Buff can remove overflowed rounds from magazine. Maybe it's intended they want you to have not a buff but a debuff for it.
Goodness gracious.
The Kinetic Impact Artifact mod does not work on all heavy grenade launchers. Damage impact is too low and needs too much damage to activate a shockwave. Rocket sidearms can't break Scorn cages. Some characters are blocked on Step 2 of Act 1 Elixir Rescue Quest because their Tonic Brewing Guide went to their postmaster. Opening the Tonic Capsules container can soft lock the game. Can you imagine doing that?
I thought they fixed that. And you just, whatever. Okay. Fun.
Players can go out of screen by opening their director screen. Players who abandon Act 1 Prologue quest when it tells you to visit Ido at the projector are unable to reclaim their quests. All players' third Pathfinder completion does not give any rewards. Salvation's Edge is no longer advertised as a pinnacle reward. The featured exotic mission does not reward a pinnacle reward. Only the first person who opens the chest at the end of the 5th wave of Onslaught receives rewards. The class warfare modifier does not activate after using class abilities during Onslaught. And then we have for the Vesper's Host Dungeon, an Augment Vandal sometimes does not spawn after the player is holding the augment. Augment returns to orbit before descending to the lower level. A soft lock can occur when not all servitors reform in the boss DPS end, and remains the servitor are inconsistent between players. So that's a lot of breaking issues though. Can you imagine going to the 50th wave of the Onslaught and only one person grabbing the loot and the rest doesn't get anything for it?
You know what I see there is that I push people out of the way and I'm the first one there.
I just kicked them out of the fire team.
No, I wait for them to take down the boss and I'm there where it's meant to be spawned, ready. I'm going to grab it first, so I don't care. Especially if I'm in a group of blueberries. I'm there claiming it, just in case.
Sit at a safe point, flick at them with a scout rifle, sniper rifle, make sure you're safe, and then just take the loot.
Yeah. That's my plan.
Sounds awful. I haven't come across that yet, and I've been playing a lot of this stuff, and I don't want to see that happen.
Well, the idea is you probably won't have seen that happening because you don't know that you haven't.
You might have been the first every time.
Yeah. This is your weekly rundown of episode Revenant, Week 3, starting on October 22nd. Week 3 sees us continue our journey in becoming Slayer Barons, as we craft potions with Ido and battle waves of Fikrul's undead Scorn army in Onslaught Salvation, which can be found over in the Last City after you complete the initial steps of the opening act. This new version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 new mats and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins and Kel's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Mothyards, with the Fallen War Priest kicking off the boss rotation. Also available for a weekly pinnacle is the new dungeon Vesper's Host, which can be found over on Europa, with the exotic sniper rifle Icebreaker up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure you visit Spider over in the Last City to pick up the quest Rogue Network to enter. Over in the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options. Normal, and Expert. Also, from episode echoes, we have the 3 new Battleground activities: Delve, Conduit, and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The Expert Battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Core. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The final Straits Cooperative Focus campaign mission this week will be Iconoclasm. The 12 Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sun Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Spectre Revenge can be found in the Divilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind World features Hive enemies and the Plague, Korregar. The Ascendant Chant will be the Shattered Ruins over in the Spine of Keris. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a Mysterious Disturbance. The Drove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Fallen, Hive, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 3. Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Ghost, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with the Arc Grenade Launcher, Tarnation, and Vazul Solar Scorn Chieftain as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Downfall, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex incursion will be Umshire Park. The Salvation Edge raid challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, a repository called Balanced Diet. The Crota's End raid challenge this week should be the 4th encounter, Crota, Son of Oryx, called All for One. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Oryx, called Hands Off. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Rogue, called Looping Catalyst. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Confluxes, called Wait For It. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Sanctified Mind, called 0 to 100. And the last Swiss challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Riven, called Strength of Memory. Pinnacle Raid 1 will be the Root of Nightmares over on Neptune. Pinnacle Raid 2 will be the Deepstone Crypt over on Europa, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the Exotic Shotgun Conditional Finality being farmable from the final boss in Nightmares, and the Exotic Rocket Launcher Eyes of Tomorrow from the final boss in Crypt. Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be the Prophecy over in the Legends tab, and Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be the Ghost of the Deep, also in the Legends tab. The Exotic Mission Rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger Exotic Grenade Launcher being the main reward, the Season of Risen's weapon set, plus the Tusk Allegiance armor set. The Exotic Missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Mission of Mercy 3, Playing the Field, Unwavering, Throne World Activities, and High Value Hunter. Lost Sectors, Tuesday K1 Revelations on the Moon, Wednesday Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City, Thursday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, Friday The Quarry on the EDZ, Saturday Excavation Site 7 on the EDZ, Sunday The Broken Deep in the Pale Heart, and Monday The Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart. Our third featured Nightfall will see a special against Once Virus, the Exhumed Tether in the Highest Battlegrounds Moon, with the Izunami R4 Sniper Rifle being the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist should be Control, Rift should be in the Party Relentless playlist, Countdown in the 3v3 playlist, Class Clash in Crucible Labs, and Trials of Osiris at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Crucible ranks available all week long. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random world exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 3rd week of the Final Shape episode Revenant. But yeah, that's it, apart from some movies of the week and some art of the week. And you can also submit your art and movie of the week by doing hashtag AOTW on Twitter, or movie of the week, which is hashtag MOTW. Because they don't kind of tell you that anymore, that you can do that. But I'll tell you can do that. You can submit your movies and your art and get an emblem for that. So they're done. They're telling us that they're done, and that's it of the TWAB this week. Thank you very much for telling us all the Tonic stuff a couple of weeks too late.
I mean, better late than never? Question mark?
Yeah, maybe. But no, there was videos out before they had to kind of come and tell us.
I mean, that's how it normally works, though.
Yeah.
Somebody's figured it out normally within a couple of hours, you know? The idea is before the event happens, hey, hey guys, look, we're going to introduce a tonic system. Here's how you're going to want to tackle this. You're going to want to do X, Y, and Z so that you can get to A, B, and C and get you 1, 2, and 3. Ideally, that's how you want to do it, or just not do it at all and let the community tell. Not to let the community tell, and then you come out 2 weeks later after the community's already figured it out and then tell people how to do it. One or the other. Either tell us up front or don't tell us at all. But telling us late, just why? I don't know.
Well, something that they did tell us this week in Destiny Update 8.1.0.1 is activities. The Nightfalls they've given us on expert difficulty or higher now feature Banes. And there's more than the 2 Banes that they told us about. There's up to 4 Banes. And I've only seen a couple of them, but apparently there's 4 Banes available that they've kind of introduced in Revenant. So look out for those. They're on expert difficulty or higher in the Nightfalls. And sad face emoji because Onslaught has been kind of clipped. So they fixed an issue where Eventide Ruins on expert mode did not grant the correct starting enemy power level or increased power level when completing waves. And that was for the Scorn Cheese that was happening last week. So they've now fixed that, or they fixed that by October 15th. So yeah, so if you're jumping into the expert mode, which apparently is match made, and the normal mode isn't match made, which makes no sense, then it's going to get tougher and tougher. So sad face emoji for that. But yeah, that's all the stuff that they've introduced, all the stuff they're going to introduce, all the stuff that they want to introduce, and more.
Huzzah.
But before we go this week, we're at the end. We're here. We're closing in at the end. I have watched a couple of videos that I want to tell you about.
No, you haven't.
I have.
You haven't.
And I've heard a lot of positive things about one weapon from the Garden of Salvation, which is still farmable this week and will be farmable again in another 6 weeks, I guess it is, when it comes back around. The Prophet of Doom shotgun is better than the Matador 64. And to tell you about it this week is Destiny Fun Police. But many other people I've heard putting out videos and talking about how good it is now that it's craftable. But Destiny Fun Police is the guy that's going to tell you about it this week. Then we have the Versus Graphic Arrest is the new King of Fusion Rifles. Now, this is the fusion rifle that you can get from the dungeon. It's a weapon that hasn't impressed or piqued Respawn's interest. Apparently, Legola Flash says it's amazing. It's the King of Fusion Rifles. King of Fusion Rifles. Because apparently, before this version came out, the only other version of this kind of type of fusion rifle is a green one, apparently. And so this is amazing.
What's the roll that he's talking about? Because I got one roll of that.
Look, if I tell you, that spoils everybody kind of listening to the video.
Telling me the roll and telling me why the roll is good are two different things.
Look,
they still have to watch it to say why it's good.
Yeah, you watch it. Go and watch it. It's linked in the show notes every week. Lego Le Flouche. And the insane DPS Chill Inhibitor destroys all dungeon bosses. And that's by above.
Oh, I did see that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think there's another video that I didn't watch, which I think was raid bosses as well that they trial it with. Again, Destiny Fun Police buffed the most slept on auto rifle in the game and just got buffed. Now, this is one I do believe that I did point out before when we had with the detailing all the changes. And this is with the Lodbrok C, which is a slow firing auto rifle. It's a high impact frame. But as I said, there's many kind of different frames of this. So you've got the Lodbrok, you've got the Halfdan, which is a really old one, Halfdan D. And then you've also got the Herod C, which are all kind of these high impact frames. But because they got a buff in PvP, he says it's nasty. I do agree with him that these high impact auto rifles are nasty and they work at such a good range as well. They're like a faster firing scout rifle.
Stability like bad? They jump around a lot, so you have to compensate for that.
You do, but they don't jump around as much. I mean, like I've always, I've got a really old Halfdan D, and now because of the unsunsetting, it works really well in kind of everywhere. But I've got one that's got moving target and dynamic sway. So moving target,
I've got
increased movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. And then I've got my dynamic sway, which improves accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. And yeah, and I've got steady rounds on there. So it's got a stability of 35 and a range of 90. I've put a backup magazine on there. So, but yeah, as I said, there's kind of various different versions of this weapon. So you've got like the Herod C. Again, I've got to tap the trigger dynamic sway with high caliber rounds. And yeah, you can get ones with stasis or strand or just regular kind of kinetic. That's the word. But yeah, Destiny Fun Police has got that video. And then Vesper's Secrets, which I alluded to at the beginning of the show, with Bife going over the lore for the Vesper's Host dungeon, the anomaly undiscovered secret message. And then another one from the dungeon is the versus pyroelectric propellant, which is the maximum results with 0 effort monster, according to Cool Guy. And it's the ultimate arc auto rifle. Yeah, those are my videos for this week that I can recommend. So if you're going in and looking for some weapons in the dungeons, the fusion rifle and the auto rifle definitely. And then if you're just looking for some worldly weapons, we've got the Lodbrock C from Destiny Fun Police. Anything that you guys want to kind of recommend? Donny, you always have things to recommend.
Well, the one I enjoyed the most was from Plunder the Booty with the King Returns with the Solar Hunter build that they actually tweaked. That does a lot more damage now.
Okay.
And the one that I was actually quite surprised by was also from Plunder the Booty was All of Power, that with the exotic that gives you the mods for the Hunter, that it actually is a slept-on exotic at the moment.
Okay, explain that one.
Well, the mods come out at a certain point when you use the exotic, and usually you have like a bright explosion, but they ignite now.
You mean the build I'm using right now, the Extras grenade launcher with the Mothkeeper's wraps?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been using that for 3 seasons.
Well, with the new changes that they had to certain mods and perks, it's actually kind of fun. It looks fun to use. I made a build for it. Haven't used it yet, but
all right. Well, since I'm using it right now, check Plunder the Booty out right now. See if there's any changes to what I'm currently using.
Cool. Respawn, have you got any videos?
Yeah, there's a Plunder the Booty build. I've been using this Extras build with Mothkeeper's wraps for like 3 seasons now, and apparently Plunder the Booty's made a better version of it. So I'm gonna
claim the fame for it.
Yeah.
You were first.
No, I haven't had any time to watch anything. Very busy at work, unfortunately. So, it's a prismatic. Oh, okay, that's the difference. Mine is straight. Mine is straight up. Oh, okay. Mine is straight.
Piqued his interest.
Damn it!
You're using the strand version.
Super stuff. What is that called? Strand. Mine's straight up strand. There you go. Holy. What? That was so hard to get out. What? Anyway. Yes. Continue. Moving on. What are we talking about? How you doing? Name is
Closing the show. Thanking everybody for joining us.
I love you guys.
For our 300th episode. Thank you for Donny for stepping into Peroty's big shoes, and hopefully, you can come back again and fill in somebody else's shoes that may be a bit smaller.
Whoa. First of all, I have big shoes.
I've got small. Actually, no, I've got big feet. Anyway, thanks for joining us. your Titans are Nitedemon and Peroty, Donny,
Hunter.
Donny Darko.
Your hunters are No One Respawns in Real Life and Don Arzado. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as Two Titans and a Hunter. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find the show everywhere you get your podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube for each new episode, weekly update videos, and live streams when we go live. If you want to join the Odd Dance Troop, threaten us with a good time, and throw more grenades, join our Patreon at patreon.com/TTAH. If you're looking for a more casual encounter, kofi.com/Two Titans and a Hunter. If you want the thrill of live action, spicy language, then you've got to head over to twitch.tv/No One Respawns in Real Life. And if you want to keep it family friendly like a proper British gentleman, then head over to twitch.tv/Two Titans and a Hunter. I stream sometimes on the Two Titans at about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. UTC. That's 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. US Eastern. And Respawn streams like now and whenever he likes to stream.
Yeah. Not
So,
as
yeah.
consistent as I used to be, but I'm trying. Just busy.
Life gets in the way, but then they give us more Destiny to play. So that's what we're going to go and do. Play more Destiny. Because I heard there's trials up.
I have heard
there's 3 of us. Yeah.
So, no, there's not 3 of us because I am on daddy daycare and I have responsibilities. So.
Okay. Well, you go and do your responsibilities, and I'll go and do some Destiny stuff.
All right, ladies and gents, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate everything y'all have done to help us. Great. Thank you, Donny. Thank you, Demon. Thank you, Peroty. And thank you for 300 episodes of listening to our shenanigans. But as of right now, I'm going to say deuces, la vedere, and see you next week.
Yeah, what he said. Donny, you have to say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye to everyone then.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.